This is exciting. All right, so now everything that I'm saying actually is being recorded as well as everything that I'm going to do on this particular problem. So again, you can go back and you can listen to this. All right, so now instead of having a number or a letter being multiplied to something on the outside of a set of parentheses, I've got a monomial in this case. Check it out. I've highlighted it. Cool, right? Okay. Tough crowd, tough crowd. Okay, so next, the whole idea is it's being multiplied. You are going to take that entire thing, and it is going to multiply and distribute to each term inside. And this is where you have to have your strong knowledge of what do I do to the exponents. So what you are doing is we are taking this negative 2x squared. It's going to get multiplied to 3x squared. This is the good stuff that's on your quiz today. What are you going to do to the coefficients of those two powers? Yeah, we're going to multiply them. And what do we get? Negative 6. What are we going to do to the two exponents? Add them. So how many x's do we really have? To the fourth. Notice this is a little different than what we did the other day when we added. The other day when we added, we looked at them as M&Ms and we grouped the M&Ms together, but we didn't change the exponents. Today we are multiplying. Different rule. All right, so that was our first term. So negative 2x squared times 3x gives you that negative 6x to the fourth. So now that negative 2x squared is going to get multiplied to negative 7x. That should be a nice little dot right there. What are we going to do to those coefficients? Multiply them, and what do we get? 14. X to what power? To the third. You got it. Add the exponents. If something doesn't have an exponent, feel free to give it one. The last term that x has to be, or negative 2x squared has to be multiplied to, is 10. So we're going to multiply that by 10. What do we get when you multiply negative 2x squared times positive 10? Negative 20 what?
X squared.
X squared. All right, before you walk away from this problem, before you think you are done, take a look. Your answer still should be in appropriate standard form. Highest degree to lowest degree. And if it is, you box it, and you're done. You have successfully multiplied using the distributive property. Okay. So I'm going to show you a different option. We are still going to distribute, but we're going to distribute a little more systematically. So we're going to take a look at this problem. We first have to figure out how many terms we have in each one of these. So in this group right here, how many terms? 2. So we've got 2 terms here. How many terms are in this group of polynomials? 3. Hey, and if 2 terms was a binomial, 3 terms is a trinomial. So we have a binomial times a trinomial. Now, it's important that you know how many terms that you have because we are going to create a grid system. And we are going to create a grid system of 2 by 3. So I'm going to make a grid with either 2 rows, 3 columns, or 3 columns and 2 rows. It actually does not make a difference which one are your rows and which ones are your columns because it will all come out the same at the end anyways. Okay? So I look to see I've got 2 rows, 3 columns. That will work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my binomial that has the 2 terms, and I'm going to place those terms in front of those 2 rows. So a positive 4x and a positive 9 will go where my group of 2 is. So next, I'm going to take the 2x squared, the minus 5x, and the 3. I'm going to place those appropriately above the 3 terms, in this case my 3 columns. Notice that I made sure that the negative sign followed the 5 because it's important. So now, this is a multiplication problem. You are now responsible for multiplying. But what's really cool about this is you are going to multiply each row to each column. So in this first row here, I've got 4x. In order to get to what's going inside of this box right here, I want to make sure I multiply this row and this column, 4x and 2x squared. What is the product of 4x and 2x squared? Remember, you're multiplying this and this to get what's inside this box right here. Guys, if we're struggling with multiplying 4x and 2x squared, your quiz is going to be very challenging today. We should not be struggling with how to multiply 4 and 2 and x times x squared. So help me out. 8 what? Thank you. Be a participant and welcome to participating in your own educational experience. I promise it helps. All right, you have just multiplied. We are going to continue that process for every single box. Except down here in this box in the bottom, we're going to multiply 9 and 2x squared together to get what? 18x squared. You got it. So that's how we're going to fill in this chart. And what you are doing by default is you are distributing all of the terms and making sure that they all get multiplied. All right, so here in this box, I've got 4x times negative 5x. We got negative 20x squared. And this is 3 times 4x, 12x. And down here in this box, we've got, thank you so much for volunteering and participating a little bit better. In this box right here, 27. All right, so once you are filling in this box, this is where you are adding exponents. You're multiplying the coefficients, and you're then adding the exponents. But this problem is not done. Your very last step of this problem is to put this in the correct order and to combine your like terms. But here's what's really kind of cool about this problem. Most of the time, I can't say always, most of the time, your like terms are in a diagonal. So they're kind of easy to spot. And most of the time, your term with the highest exponent is usually this top left-hand corner. So our final answer is 8x cubed. Now what are you going to do to negative 20x squared and 18x squared? You add them. Are you going to do anything to the exponents? No. Once we switch gears to adding, now you're just going to add coefficients. What is 18 plus a negative 20? Negative 2x to the what? Second. Again, once we switch to adding, don't touch the exponents. How about negative 45 and 12? Negative 33 what? X. And then plus 27. Guess what? All of that work gives you this answer.